It's part 3 of our lesson 5, our asynchronous week. This video should be fairly short. We're going to look at taking our local website. We're now using the Azure database, but we'll want to look at how do we deploy the website to Azure as you're going to do for your assignment. So I'm going to log into the Azure portal at portal.azure.com. I'm going to click Create a Resource. I'm going to choose Web App. I can use an existing resource group. So it's not necessary to create a new one because we already have a resource group that we created for our database. I'll give it a name. So I'll just call it getmeagame.azurewebsites.net. We want to publish from code. And for our runtime stack, we need to pick .NET Core 3.1. Our operating system will be Windows. And we should just be able to pick a region. And we need to make sure that we're under the free tier. If we're not under the free tier, you'll need to pick a different region until it allows you to pick a free tier. So basically, all we're doing is adding it under an existing group. If you create a new resource group, it doesn't matter. You give it a unique name, and you pick .NET Core 3.1 as your runtime stack. Then we'll click Review and Create. My app is running in the free tier. So it's confirming it's free. It gives me 1 gig of memory, which isn't much, but that's okay. I'll click Create, and it's going to start to set up our website. This will take a minute. And the code, rather than deploying it using FTP, we're actually going to send our code to GitHub, and then we're going to connect our GitHub repository to this Azure website. So in order to be able to do that, I need to go back to Visual Studio and make sure that I commit all of my changes for today. So I'm going to go to Team Explorer and Changes and put in my commit. So I'll say Lesson 5, Customize folded MVC files and photo upload. So I'm going to commit and push. You might have the option that just says commit all, and then there's a blue link up here that says sync, so you can just click that. So this is pushing all the work I've done today to GitHub, and it's using my Azure database that I've got in my app settings.json. My deployment's is complete, so I'm going to go to the resource. And now that my changes have been pushed to GitHub, I'm going to go into the deployment center. Now I could try to go to my website right now, actually, if I just go to Get Me a Game, Azure Websites.net. It's going to give me like a template page that Azure creates. So you can see the link here on the overview of your site. You can just click on, it shows you the URL. So you can just copy it, click on it. I went here manually. So it gives you this. Just kind of a template page. So to connect it to GitHub, I'm going to go to Deployment Center. And under Continuous Deployment, I want to click on GitHub. Now, I've already authenticated through my GitHub account, so it shows my GitHub username. Yours is going to say not authorized. So once you click on GitHub here, this will bring up a GitHub login screen, a little pop-up dialog, so you just log into your GitHub account. So I'm going to select GitHub, and I'm going to click Continue. Then it brings me to the build provider. There's a few different kind of channels between GitHub and Azure. I just picked the first one, which is the App Service Build by Kudu. You could use the GitHub Actions, but I know that this one works. So I'm just going to click the App Build Service here, click Continue. Then I pick my GitHub account. And now it's searching my account for all of the repositories. So I have a lot of them. So I'm going to just go and, again, check my repository name. So it's COMP2084, get me a game. So I can start typing here. Here's my repository. Then it asks for the branch. It defaults to master because I only have one branch. And then I click continue and finally finish. So what this is doing, Azure is connecting to this GitHub repository, and it's going to copy the source code from GitHub into the Azure web server. This will take a minute. So it shows our status is pending. It tries to read, so it shows us the latest commit, my lesson 5 customized scaffold. If this fails, I can click this little log icon and I'll get a descriptive error message explaining what happened. If it succeeds, our status should update to success. And once it's done, I can go back up here and refresh the site and our game store should load. We'll try it out in just a second. Got to wait till the deployment is done. Once our deployment is done, if our website loads successfully, I want to show you how we update the site. And it's basically as simple as just making a new commit to GitHub. So our website is automatically now tied to GitHub, and it will check for new commits. I think it's every 30 or every 60 seconds. So we don't have to update the server anymore. We just have to push changes to GitHub. I'm going to refresh this and see if it's done. It says it's still running. Okay, so it says it was successful and the latest commit is active. Well, let's refresh in the browser and see what happens. If this works properly, our Get Me a Game site should load with all the data we already have. So it's got all our new CSS, got our link to my GitHub repository, and we can even try out adding a product and uploading a file. So I'll call this, I don't know. So I'll pick a picture from somewhere. So our new record got added and our image got uploaded to the server because we set a dynamic path. Now I don't need this game, so I'll delete it. So our create, read, update, delete, all our functionality is working. I'll go back to the home page, and then I'm going to make a change to the content here, and we'll see how I update the server. So I'm going to go back to my home page. Maybe I'll add one more paragraph tag here. So this project is being developed during the fall 2020 semester at Georgian College. I'm just going to add some text here. Maybe I'll change the title as well. COMP2084 video game show. So I'll save those changes and go back to my Team Explorer and I'll make a new commit. Updated home content. I'm going to commit all and push. So Team Explorer is going to update my Git repository. And now I'll go back to the Azure panel, and without doing anything, it already shows the new commit with my new message. My old version is still active until the new deployment finishes. So if I click on my home page, we'll see if it's complete. The fact that there's a delay indicates it's probably going to load the new version. No, not yet. Still running. Okay. Tells me it was active. So I'll just refresh again. And now our new content is here as well. So we don't have to use FTP. We don't need FileZilla at all when we're working with .NET and Azure. This works great because not only are we backing up our code to GitHub and archiving it, but we can tie it directly. If for some reason our new version breaks, we can just click on the older commit and Azure will redeploy an earlier version. Okay? We can disconnect from a repository as well. So that's pretty much all there is to it. One other thing I want to show you with Azure is when you're not working on your site, whenever your web server is running, it's using up some of the credits in your student plan. So when you're working on your assignment and you're deploying to Azure, you want your server to be active. If you're done working for the day and you're not going to need it, then you can stop the server. When you press stop, it turns the server off so it doesn't use up your credits. When you go back to working on it, you turn it on again. When you submit your assignment next Sunday, you'll want the server to be on. You'll want to press start, which will appear here, because your server needs to be active and running so that I can load the site in my browser and I can mark it. But really connecting it through GitHub is super easy. And this is part of the requirements for assignment 1. So that's all for today. I hope you all had a great long weekend. So please, you'll want to go through this lesson before our week 6 class. And if you have questions or need help, then feel free to book an appointment or send me an email. Other than that, I'll see you next Monday. And I look forward to seeing your assignment 1 submissions.